Knowing that there is 180 degrees in a triangle, you'll be able to solve missing angles. So if I know that if I add all these three angles up, I'm supposed to get 180. It's a triangle, so it's always going to be 180 degrees. So I have the angle x, plus the angle, let's say 81, plus the angle 25. The sum of them should give me 180 degrees, no matter what. Now, it doesn't matter which order I added, it does not. When you're adding, it doesn't matter which number comes first, which number comes second. You still get the same answer. In here, I'm trying to solve for the x. If I look at just the left side of the equation, I see that I have to kind of clean up. I need to combine like terms. So what can I combine in here? Is that positive 81 with the 25. So let's do that. So I have x plus 81 plus 25. Do not be afraid to use a calculator if you need to. So 81 plus 25 is 106. I still have the equal sign, and it equals 180. I'm solving for x. I know that the 106 wants to be with the 180, and x wants to be alone, right? So the 106 is going to go away from the x and be with the 180. Now, we've learned that opposite of positive of plus 106, because when I go from one side to the other side of the equation, when I'm switching sides, I have to do the opposite of what I see, right? So opposite of plus 106 is minus 106. What I did on one side of the equal sign to keep the equation in balance, I have to do to the other side of the equal sign. I did not touch the x. X is still there. 106 minus 106 is a 0, right? It canceled each other out. I still have the equal sign, and 180 minus 106, let's make sure we know we're not making any mistakes. 180 minus 106 equals 74 degrees. So x equals 74. Let's double check our answers. So always make sure you are correct. So this angle in here is supposed to be 74. So the theorem said if I add all three angles up of a triangle, if I add them all up, I should get 180 degrees. So let's add them up. 74 plus 25 plus 81 equals 180. So the answer checks and I'm good. Let's look at the next problem. We're going to solve it the same way as the other one. To find value of x. I have three angles in here. I have this one, I have this one, and this one. And I see this shape is a triangle. If I add all these three angles up, and I don't care which way you go, if I add all those three angles up, I'm supposed to get 180 degrees. So let's do that. Let's add them up. So I'm going to start, let's say, in there. X, that's the red angle, plus x minus 35, that's the purple one. And I'm dropping the parentheses. Reason why I'm dropping the parentheses, there is not a number in front of it, let's say 2, so that I will have to use distributive property. So the parentheses are insignificant at this point. X minus 35 plus the blue angle, that is 43. And I know if I add all those three angles up, since this shape is a triangle, the sum of all the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So if I add them all up, I should get 180. Now let's solve for x. This is an equation. I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to look at this side. Let's see what I can combine. I can combine this x with that x. I can combine this negative 35, the sign goes with the number, with the positive 43. Let's combine. X plus x, I have 2x. Negative 35 plus 43. So let's do this. 35 and then I make it negative, so now I have a negative 35 plus 43 equals 8, and it's a positive 8. So 2x plus 8 equals 180. Now I have an equation and I have to solve for x. 2 times x plus 8. We've talked about earlier in a chapter 1 that multiplication is going to be the last thing I will be undoing. So that means get rid of that plus 8, because the plus 8 is the number on the same side where my variable is. So the plus 8 wants to go and be together with the 180. Since I'm going from one side to the other side, right, I have to do the opposite of what the number is. Right now it's plus 8. Inverse of addition is subtraction. So minus 8. What I did on one side of the equal sign, keep it in balance, I have to do to the other side of the equal sign. I still have the 2 times x. 8 minus 8 is 0. I still have the equal sign. 180 minus 8 is 172. I am trying to solve for the x still, right? That means get rid of the 2. There's a multiplication between the 2 and the x. To undo multiply, I know I have to do divide. Please do remember I use fractions as a division, because fraction is a division. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I am left with 1x. I still have the equal sign. And let's see, 172. Divide that by 2, so I'm taking 172, split it into 2 parts, right? 172 divided by 2 is 86. So x equals 86. So I solved for my x. If you want to double check your answer, and you really always should, everywhere I see x in here, I'm going to replace it with 86. So let's substitute. So this is 86 minus 35. 86 minus 35. That angle is 51. This is just the x, that is 86. So if I add these 3 angles up, I'm supposed to get 180. So this one was 51 plus 86 plus third angle, 43. Indeed, addition of these 3 angles gave me 180 degrees. So yes, my x is 86. So those were interior angles of a triangle. Now, what we also going to have to talk about are exterior angles. They're a little bit different, but not that difficult. So let's imagine I have a triangle again. And then there is a straight line kind of hanging to the side. And you will have a problem, and the problem is going to tell you, hey, can you please tell me what is the measure of this angle in here? This is an exterior angle. Let's say x. How would you find the measure of this angle? Well, that's easy. If I knew this measure, I know it's a straight line. I can subtract it from 180 and I can figure that out. But if I do not know this angle, if this angle in here is unknown, if I have no clue, and they tell me, let's say this angle is 40, and let's say this angle in here is 90. That cannot be 90, doesn't even look like a 90, right? So let's make it 80. If this angle was 80, this one is 40. To find an exterior angle of a triangle, only thing you have to do is add the 2 angles that are not adjacent. This is an adjacent angle. The 2 angles that are kind of opposite of your exterior angle. So this angle x in here equals the sum of the 2 angles that are not adjacent. So 40 plus 80 is 120 degrees. This is that angle. Angle x will be 120 degrees. It's that easy. And do not be afraid of it, guys. Let's look at an example real quick. So if you have to find the exterior angle y, So what we just said is y equals the sum of the two angles that are not adjacent to it. So in this case, y equals the sum of these two, 40 plus 30. So the angle y equals 70, right? That is all. And if it is written this way, you can solve it. Same procedure, same steps. Let's look at it, because we're not afraid of it, right? So let's find the measure of the exterior angle. Let me move this down, maybe not. No, maybe not. There you go. This angle in here, my exterior angle, that angle in here is equal to the sum of this angle with that angle if I add those two angles up. The most difficult step is actually writing it out. So the exterior angle, the 4n minus 20, is equal to the sum of the two interior that are not adjacent, the ones that are not touching it. So the 2n plus 20, that's this angle, plus this angle in there, which is just n. Let's combine a couple like terms. On the left side, is there anything I can combine? Nope, 4n cannot be combined with the negative 20. In here, I see I can combine the 2n with this n, so let's do that. Let's clean up first. So I still have 4n minus 20 equals 2n plus, this is really 1n, right? So 2n plus 1n is 3n plus 20. Now I have variables on both sides of the equal sign, right? Just like the plain old numbers on both sides on the equal side. So I have to kind of combine. So let's combine, combine. I usually start with moving my variables. So I'm going to take the smaller variable and move it to the bigger one. I'm going to say my variables will be now on the left side. So opposite of positive 3n is negative 3n. Remember, when you go from one side to the other, you have to do the opposite of what the number is, right? So minus 3n on both sides to keep the equation equal and balanced. 4n minus 3n is 1n. I still have minus 20. I still have the equal sign. This is 0, and I still have positive 20. Now the minus 20 wants to get away from the n, right? It wants to switch sides. Opposite of minus 20 is plus 20 on both sides of the equal sign. I have n. This is a 0. I still have an equal sign. 20 plus 20 is 40. So I figure out what n is. So what is the measure of that exterior angle? Well, the exterior angle is 4n minus 20, right? There's a multiplication between the 4 and the n, so let's substitute n. So I have 4 times n is 40, minus 20. So 4 times 40, multiply first, plus 20 is, and that was 220, so let's try that one more time. 4 times 40 is 160, and it's minus 20, 140 degrees. So this angle in here is 140 degrees. All right?